You know, I take a break and then I come back to this mess. Remember I used to talk about things that I like all the movies and cartoons and television shows and the video games and nostalgia that I enjoyed and like reminiscing and having fun on that. Now I'm talking about contract negotiations and studio disputes. Black nerd comedy. Whee! Da 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 da. Hi, I'm Andre, I'm a black nerd, and I just got back from D23 Expo, had a lot of fun there. It was the first time that I got to see all the major panels. That was really cool. All the announcements that were coming out about Mandalorians and Frozen 2s and Black Widows and all that, just all in my face. But even though we were there celebrating the corporation Disney-ness, you couldn't help but have that cloud looming over all of us about this whole Spider-Man Disney-Sony thing. So in case you don't know what's going on, there is supposedly a dispute going on between Disney and Sony, or Disney, Marvel, and Sony about Spider-Man and who's gonna get what money when Spider-Man makes that money. If a deal cannot be made, and it sounds like as of right now a deal is not being made, then that would mean that Spider-Man would officially be out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that doesn't mean that Spider-Man is gonna stop. We're still gonna get Spider-Man movies. Tom Holland, I think, is still signed on for a couple more movies. But what it means is that for any future Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man will not have any references to Marvel Cinematic Universe. No characters from the MCU can be in it. No references to the MCU can be in it. And then Spider-Man himself cannot pop up in any of the other Marvel films. So you won't see Spider-Man hanging out with the Eternals or Black Widow or Blade or Black Panther or the future Fantastic Four, X-Men, or any of that stuff. Not gonna happen unless a deal is made. And it's not looking like that's happening. And then, of course, everyone wants to throw in their 2 cents of how they think this deal should be worked out. They're boycotting studios or blaming one studio over the other, or all of a sudden everyone's got a business degree. Don't you love it when something like this happens and all of a sudden everybody knows how to do business? They're like, oh, you know, if Sony would just take this equity and Disney would just take this percentage, then they can figure out this deal. And here's a whole business plan chart that I have of how all the economics would work. And then I'm just like, dude, you haven't even paid your water bill this week. Maybe you should pay your rent first. You got 15 credit cards, man, and they all overdue. You don't know how to run a business. And it's hard to even talk about this conversation because I tried to research the actual facts of what was going on, and good luck with that. I mean, yeah, there are some actual facts out there, but there's also a lot of rumors and hearsay and inside sources and people just making stuff up. So I'm not going to discuss this from a business standpoint. I'm not going to try to figure out the financial semantics of how this will work. I'm going to let you know how I feel as a standpoint of somebody who obviously wants to see Spider-Man continue with all the other Marvel characters, because I made a video years ago being super excited when this actually happened. And even back then, I was cautious and was nervous because I was like, Disney and Sony, I mean, y'all doing this because, you know, you just stopped that Amazing Spider-Man and you want some Spider-Man to continue, but I just don't see this lasting forever. This is going to be like a summer fling. This is going to be like a short-term relationship where everyone's going to be happy, and then something's going to show up in that bank account when one of them Spider-Man movies take off, and someone's going to be like, we can get a little bit more than that. And I feel like that's what's happening here. So that's why it's really tough for me to really get too invested in this, because this is not a creative thing. Like if Sony was like, we got this great idea what we want to do with Spider-Man, but it just doesn't fit in the MCU, so that's why we're doing this from a creative standpoint to creatively take Spider-Man in another direction, I'd be all about it. Or if Disney was like, we have this whole idea of how we want to put Spider-Man in the MCU for phase 4, but it just doesn't fit with Sony's plan, cool. But that ain't about that. This is about money. It's about who gets the most money when Spider-Man gets pimped out to the audience. And I just can't have any investment to anybody because I ain't getting that money. So I'm not going to feel good or bad about anybody else for getting it. I'm sorry. I just want good movies. So that's the only way I can approach this. With this whole situation, I'm not mad. I'm not sad. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. I mean, I get it, man. Studios want to get their cut. I totally understand it. And I can see it from both sides. Disney like, look, you know, because of us, we made this better again, so we want a little bit more. Or I could see Sony being like, Look, man, Ghostbusters ain't working for us right now. Hopeful for 2020. Men in Black, we tried that again. We still got Cobra Kai. We still got Jumanji. But Spider-Man's it. I mean, we were surprised that Venom made a bunch of money, so that was cool. Even our Oscar-winning film, Into the Spider-Verse. So, yeah, when we got one of our only franchises making over $1 billion, we want to keep as much of that as possible. So I get where all this is coming from. But it just still feels like this is one of the times where I have to say, I understand that this is show business, but just for once, just this one time, let's put the pride aside, let's put the ego aside, let's put the greed aside and go, for the sake of the people, for the fans, for the moviegoers out there, the few that are left, because not a lot of people are going to movies as much anymore. Just this one time, can just one of y'all, and I don't care who it is, I don't care which side decides that they're just gonna go, you know what, let's back off a little bit, or let's just come to a different compromise. But I think this is the one time to do it, because this is unprecedented. You don't see this too often. Remember how excited I've talked about it many times, being so excited when we saw Who Framed Roger Rabbit and you saw Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny on the screen at the same time. Like, that's something that should have never happened, but it did. And look what magic got made as a result of that. Spider-Man being a part of the MCU after seeing Avengers movies and Spider-Man movies not in the MCU, then seeing that it actually now is part of it, and that magic of that happening, and Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good, and all that stuff, like, that all was magic that happened. Why stop it? Why stop it? Like think of that. And I know it's so hard because when you get to those higher levels of business people, they just don't think about that kind of stuff. But just this is the one time. This is just the one time. I just feel like this is the one time where we gotta go, hey man, this ain't the deal that everybody wants, but for the sake of what we got going on out there, let's just roll with it until it's done. And then once it's officially done, then we can go our separate ways. Can't they just at least be like a slight agreement? Like maybe Peter can still hang out with everybody, but just you don't mention MCU in his movies. Like, can't he have visitation rights? Can't he go over like every other weekend and just be in one movie or two just for like a quick cameo? But then he goes back. Is this just so you can get Spider-Man and Venom? Is that what this is all about? Do you just want Spider-Man and Venom too? Wouldn't it be funny if that was really all this was all about? If keeping Spider-Man in the MCU just means he got to make one little cameo in Venom 2. Fine. Andy Serkis is directing. He's good. Just put Spider-Man in Venom 2 so we can get this over with, all right? Put Venom in the MCU, give him a little cameo or two. Tom Hardy's a great actor. Throw Venom in the MCU if that's what it takes. I don't care, man. Or Sony, just be like, look, whatever. We got Miles Morales. Let's do something with that. You know, now that Into the Spider-Verse has been watched by people on Netflix, maybe the sequel will make more money than the original. Maybe you'll pull an Austin Powers situation because now of the word of mouth, they got out about the movie. Even though I know there was some YouTuber who told y'all very early that Into the Spider-Verse was a great movie, but then some people won't be like, nah, Andre, you just a Sony shill because you got to see the movie early. You just trying to be a sellout for them. And then when you watched it on Netflix, then you were like, oh, this movie is actually great. Andre was trying to speak the truth months ago, but I didn't want to pay attention to him because I was too busy calling him a shill, because anytime you like something nowadays, somebody got to call you a shill for it, instead of just maybe accepting the fact that maybe somebody saw a movie and actually enjoyed it. I'm sorry, what were we talking about again? Spider-Man. See, if Into the Spider-Verse made $1 billion, maybe we wouldn't have this conversation. But Into the Spider-Verse made like, what, $300-something million? If Into the Spider-Verse would have got $1 billion, maybe Sony would be like, I don't care what you take, Disney. We got Miles Morales. We good. So this is your fault. This is stupid. I can't stand thinking, talking, seeing stuff like this. This is not why I made a channel, to talk about nerdy things, to be able to have to discuss what company should have the rights to a certain property to make future movies. And I just feel bad for poor Tom Holland. He's got to go on stage at D23 to try to promote Onward, and everyone's like, no, it's Spider-Man, and he's like, this is really difficult, and it ain't helping matter as much as my co-star is Chris Pratt, another MCU person. I love you 3000. Thank you, Tom Holland. I feel bad. And you know what? Maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but I kind of also feel bad for Feige. I don't feel like this is Feige's decision. I feel like Kevin Feige definitely wants him. I saw those Entertainment Weekly when he was all like, you know, yeah, man, we had 5 years of Spider-Man and we told our story that we wanted to tell. You finished your story that you wanted to tell? That ended with a cliffhanger? How do you end a movie series with a cliffhanger and go, yeah, our story's done. Yeah, we done our part. Oh, this is so dumb. Oh God, so stupid. And plus, Spider-Man makes so much money outside the movies. Like, this is just a segment, but Spider-Man's got toys, merchandise, shirts. He got a new cartoon coming out. There's gonna be a whole Spider-Man section of Disney California Adventure. He's gonna have theme park stuff going on. Spider-Man makes so much money. He is one of the biggest, if not the biggest superheroes to make that money constantly outside of movies. Money will be made. This is just a chunk. Someone just budge. Somebody budge. Just budge. You know things are crazy when people right now are saying good things online about Star Wars. Between The Mandalorian and Rey's Switchblade lightsaber, everyone's talking great about Star Wars and talking bad about Marvel and Spider-Man. How did that happen? We went into alternative world. I forgot what I was talking about. Spider-Man. And the main reason why I want you to do something to make an agreement, because I don't want to keep hearing from the internet constant Spider-Man memes and jokes and nonsense. If you don't make an agreement, we don't have to hear about this nonsense for forever. First off, no one's gonna look good out of this. Sony's not gonna look good. Disney's not gonna look good. Marvel's not gonna look good if y'all come out of this with no agreement. And second, the internet will not shut up. Every post that Marvel makes, every post that Disney makes, every post that Sony makes will have a string of comments talking about Spider-Man. Do you want that for the rest of your life? Do you want every Instagram post that you make to just be about Spider-Man, 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 Spider-Man? No, I don't want that. You don't want that. So don't do this. Don't do it. Please. For the sake of the internet. Plus, y'all need this. Everybody needs this. Look, let's just be real. Movies aren't being as attractive to people to go see them as much anymore. People are tired of going to movies and having to deal with people on their cell phones or talking loud and all that nonsense. I know people who love to go to the movies who are sick of going to movies because of the surroundings that they have to deal with when they want to just see a film. So the only way that you're getting people to go to movies is if you have a surprise hit, or if you have an event, if you have something major that people are like, I gotta go see that. You need things like this to make people go, I gotta go to the movies to see that. And that's why these movies have been working so well. Because we're seeing, even with major franchises, people ain't going until they come out on digital. That's why all these digital services are trying to get higher up, because they know. So you need something to be like, I gotta go to that. So this is what I'm talking about. This is not even just Disney and Sony. This is everybody. Warners, Universals, Paramounts, Lionsgate. Look, y'all need a war room. All y'all need to get together and y'all need to be like, look, we know what the future is like. Let's just talk who got what franchise, who can get to collaborate. If we need to have Fast and Furious with Transformers, let's make it happen. If Power Rangers and the Ninja Turtles need to come together, then so be it. If Marvel and DC gotta have a fight on the big screen, trust that is money that will get made. Make that shiznit happen. Because at this point, this is not the time for someone to be like, we're gonna take our ball and go home. Y'all got to work together. Look, for the people, for the fans, let's just keep this going. Let's do that thing that divorced parents do, where they argue behind closed doors, but when their son comes to visit, when little Peter Parker comes to visit, you act like everything's good. You put that fake smile on your face, and you all eat dinner together, but you're just really quiet. Yeah. And you get through the weekend just to make sure that you can all get this money. And hey, at least we still got cats. At least we still have cats. I'm done with so many things. I ain't doing this no more, man. I can't, man. I gotta find other things to talk about, dude. I'm so over this. This is just so stupid. I can't do it. But like and subscribe. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000. I love you 3000. Man, I'm just gonna talk about 80s cartoons for the rest of my videos. That's it. Next video is gonna be about the Care Bears or the Muppet Babies or Popeye and Son.